IMSA is returning to Southern California for the third round of the WeatherTech Championship. And before the event begins, there's a lot of information that you need to know. So in this video, I'll do a race preview for the shortest event on the 2024 calendar, which is the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. IMSA has been coming to Long Beach for quite some time, and every time the series comes here, it never disappoints. It's worth pointing out that the Grand Prix of Long Beach is also a very different endurance race compared to other IMSA events such as the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and this is because this event is pretty much a sprint race, lasting around an hour and 40 minutes long. This changes the dynamic of the race, and is one of the factors why the Grand Prix of Long Beach is so entertaining. But heading into Long Beach, we're coming back from a thrilling race at Sebring, in which Wayne Taylor Racing won, the number 40 Acura driven by Louis Delatraz, Colton Herta, and Jordan Taylor taking the victory. This result put the number 40 Acura now level on points with the number 7 Porsche Penske, which won the Rolex 24 earlier this year. Meanwhile, in the LMP2 standings, Era Motorsports leads the way after their amazing start to the season, and Risi Competizione leads the way in the GTD Pro class. Finally, in GTD, it's still Windward Racing that continues to lead the championship with their Mercedes-AMG GT3 heading into Long Beach. Now, compared to last year, there are some changes in the entries and classes for this 2024 Grand Prix of Long Beach. For this year's race, IMSA is only bringing 2 classes, the GTP category and the GTD category. LMDH and GT3 cars will be the only entries out on track for this event. The LMP2 cars will not be present, but then again, LMP2 cars typically do not race here at Long Beach anyway. The LMP2 cars won't be on the IMSA grid until the next Michelin Endurance round, which is the 6 Hours of the Glen. In terms of the entry list, there will be 10 GTP entries and 17 GTD entries, combining to create a 27-car grid for the 2024 edition of this race. In the GTP class, all 10 full-time entries have been entered in to this event, and in case you didn't know, Lamborghini's SC63 will not be here as that car is only in the Michelin Endurance rounds of IMSA. However, in GTD, there are some changes. One of them is that Vassar Sullivan Lexus will have a second RCF GT3 on the grid. This will be the number 89 car. Typically, Vassar Sullivan Lexus only runs one entry in the GTD class, but considering the Pro category is not here, that's why there's a second car. In a more unfortunate circumstance, AWA will only bring the number 13 Corvette for this event, and unfortunately throughout the rest of the season as well, as the number 17 Corvette will not be racing anymore. There will be a lot of attention on the all-new GTD entry, which is the number 28 Aston Martin Vantage GT3 from Flying Lizard Motorsports. Yes, this team is making their return to IMSA. The last time this team participated in IMSA was through the originally known United Sports Car Championship, when they raced at Petit Le Mans in 2015 with an Audi R8 LMS entry. But of course, it will be great to see this Californian-based team return to the IMSA grid for this appearance at Long Beach. Let's now take a look at what balance of performance, aka BOP, has been assigned by IMSA heading into the Grand Prix of Long Beach. Compared to the GTP Sebring BOP, on the power side, Cadillac's V-Series R still has the most power with no change, but the Acura, Porsche, and BMW cars have all received a small boost in power. On the weight side of things, BMW's M Hybrid V8 is still the lightest car, and actually by quite a big margin to the other manufacturers. The changes include Cadillac's V-Series R losing weight, where Porsche and Acura have gained weight, meaning that Acura's ARX06 is now the heaviest car on the grid. Meanwhile, compared to the previous round at Sebring, there won't be any BOP changes to the GT side of things. Now, an important factor to mention is that IMSA is not the only series that races at this circuit. Ever since the circuit's establishment in 1975, Long Beach has played host to other motorsport events. Other major series that have raced here include Formula 1 predominantly in the 1970s, Formula E in 2015 and 2016, and most recently the NTT IndyCar Series, which runs alongside the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship race. And in terms of endurance racing, the Grand Prix of Long Beach has played host to many events in the American Le Mans Series, and in IMSA ever since the championship was revived in 2014. The most recent winners of IMSA's Grand Prix of Long Beach were Porsche Penske Motorsport, when they won the event in 2023 thanks to the Porsche 963. This ended up being the 963's first ever career win in endurance racing. Last year it was the number 6 Porsche in the hands of Mathieu Jaminet and Nick Tandy that delivered the victory. Porsche Penske Motorsport proved to have a very impressive strategy, and luck was a factor as well as the number 10 WTR Acura crashed out. As for the track itself, it's located in downtown Long Beach, California, on the border of the Pacific Ocean. And since it's in downtown, that means it's a street circuit, as the cars of the prototypes and GTs will have to navigate around the circuit that's used as public roads when the racing isn't happening. In fact, across the entire IMSA WeatherTech Championship calendar, Long Beach is just one of 2 street tracks on the calendar, the other being the track in downtown Detroit, as the American city makes its return to the IMSA schedule. As for further track information, the Long Beach Street Circuit has 11 turns that make up the 1.9-mile circuit. That's 3.1 kilometers for those using that system. Overtakes are possible, but not entirely easy. The best place to make a move is going to be on East Shoreline Drive, heading down into Turn 1. Since it's a street circuit, it can be very bumpy. There's also very narrow points of the track, such as the fountain section. Also, keep an eye on that final turn, the hairpin. We can see some incidents there that could potentially block the track. We saw this last year in the GT field in the 2023 event. Now, another interesting fact about the Grand Prix of Long Beach is that it will be IMSA's shortest event on the calendar, lasting around an hour and 40 minutes long. Because it's so short, sometimes the racing can get even more intense than other big endurance races because there are fewer opportunities to go for moves for big positions in this race. This also means that cars won't have to stop as often, and teams may decide to just pit the car once. This sometimes results in teams doing very unique strategies out on track. For example, last year we saw Porsche Penske Motorsport pit their 2 963s, but they didn't change tires, and this most definitely contributed into how Porsche Penske Motorsport took the win at Long Beach. Let's now take a look at when this event actually takes place. Well, first off, the schedule begins with qualifying on Friday, April 19th. The qualifying sessions will begin at 3:55 p.m. and go until 4:40 p.m. local time. By the way, the time zone that Long Beach is in is Pacific Daylight Time. This is the time zone for the west coast of the US. The race itself will take place on Saturday, April 20th, with the coverage starting precisely at 1:30 p.m. and going until 3:30 p.m. local time. Speaking of the coverage, here's how you'll be able to watch the Grand Prix of Long Beach in 2024. If you're living in the United States of America, it will be on the Peacock streaming service, which is an NBC broadcast. For the rest of the world, the race will be featured on IMSA TV, and that is an IMSA broadcast. So that was my race preview for the 2024 Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach in IMSA. Are you excited for this event? And which manufacturer do you think will win overall? Make sure to let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, I suggest subscribing. The reason why is because I make endurance racing content mainly on WEC and IMSA every week. And if you want to watch more videos, there's options on your screen. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one.